Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Rangers Radio. I'm Southside, and joining me on the show this evening is AK and the legend that is the Bridgeman. How are you two, gentlemen?
Good evening, Southside. Good evening, Bridgeman. Good evening, Rangers Radio listeners.
Good evening, Southside and yourself, AK. And can I just say a huge good evening to the fine techie team we've got in the background, and of course to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world. Good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
And as I say, a warm welcome to all the troops on the YouTube channel, everybody out there on Facebook and Twitter that's listening to the show tonight. Good evening, and I hope you enjoy the show. How are you, AK?
Brand new, pal. Sorry, Steve, if you're listening, I couldn't resist. Brand new, pal. Looking forward to the weekend. It's amazing what a week does when the Rangers get a good result.
Right, certainly changes the mood, Bridgeman, doesn't it?
Oh yes. In particular, I was saying to AK earlier, it's great to see the team playing really well. You know, smash and play at times, you know. Lovely, good goals. So everybody brightens up. 3 points on there. And surely to goodness, even Rangers at their worst couldn't lose 4 goals in a European game. Well, we've seen that before, haven't we? But please, let's get out and finish that tie.
Obviously, I'll touch on it just briefly for 5 minutes, since I don't know if you got. Did you get to talk about it, AK, for the game on Tuesday? I don't know if you did.
I was on me on Wednesday, wasn't I? So, part in
the difference, wasn't it? 4 changes, but it's a different type of game. They were a different team from Motherwell, AK. Our league football is totally different from what we compete in Europe, and that was the main difference. But it was still a good performance and something that we're hoping to take forward to tomorrow.
Absolutely, mate. Listened to the show again last night, and everything's positive. But the word of the moment is momentum now, innit? When you get a performance and a result like that, you're looking to take it into domestic matches. We've seen it plenty of times before in Europe where the team can raise their game for the occasions, but our bread and butter is tomorrow. So it's important we need to back it up with a good home win against Dundee and get a winning run going at Ibrox and start pegging them back up top, because when you see the top of the table, I know it's only one game, but that's a sign of intent, so we need to be up there with them for as long as we can.
Bridgeman, 4 changes obviously that came in, but as I said, I think the tempo was different for the Motherwell game at Fir Park in the league, and I think they made a difference contributing into the team. I just think we probably have to try and create more chances. I think in total we had created 6 or something in that game against Victoria Pilsen, or with 6 on target or thereabouts. But I'd like to hope that we can create a lot more chances,
Absolutely, pal. Absolutely. I think that one of the things I noticed about it, I think AK just mentioned it there, is the tempo. But when particularly when we're going forward, massive tempo. If you can do that and you've got 2 good runners on either side, they cause all sorts of problems. It causes major problems to teams. People on the wide and the wings, and when they get a chance, they can get across the ball, or maybe come inside and cause chaos and coming inside. Good shots at goal. It's all there. And it's only because you get pace and tempo. Even coming to the back, it starts to G people up at the back to be able to release the ball quicker. And big wide open spaces out right or out left. No, I don't mean they're not sitting on top of the fullbacks or anything like that, but they're forcing everything wide, and it looks great. On paper, it looks absolutely fantastic, and it came good for us. Did 3 great goals, and it just looks magic. And the tempo of the game, to me, that's a big difference. The tempo of the game, and that allows the defence to be confident, build their confidence in what they're doing, how they're going forward, and so on and so forth. And you can see some of the more dependable people starting to pick up the tempo. I thought Jefte did a very good game. Makes a big difference. And the boy at right back played a very good game as well. All big changes and good. Well done to them. Well done to them. No, I really liked it.
Just when you mentioned Jefte there, I think Jefte came in and gave us a better balance. I think he did all right. I think he done was probably asked of him. I know Russell Martin questioned him and said he has to learn this and learn that. I get that. He's a young boy. He came in and he got exposed, I think, to too much football last season. But he was the only guy that we had there mostly fit, because Ridvan, I think if he'd stayed fit for a good chunk of the season, they would have spelled each other. Or maybe gone on for him. If Ridvan had kicked on, he might have had a lot more game time, but Jefte would have been in and out the team. But we solely had to rely on him, and he was flung into the magnitude of games like Tottenham and Manchester United in the Europa League. Never mind having to play the games and the demands to win every week that's put upon you. It was a lot for him to take in, and you're probably going to make mistakes here over the amount of games that he played last season, and then he gets heavily criticised for it. But he is a young player.
No, your assertion's been bang on there, mate. Think about it yourself. What age is you have to roughly about 22? Could you imagine yourself in another foreign country at that age, trying to adapt to the lifestyle and the culture and the new surroundings, what the managers want you to do, all under the expectations of the pressure that the crowd and the club give you. But that's why he's there. Obviously, come on and cope and recognise the ability of the player, but it's up to the player to then express that on the park. And you're right, I mean, there were spells last year, Ox liked him right away and was right in his camp, but he made a few mistakes. You expect that for young guys, but coming for, I mean, he's Brazilian, he played in Cyprus, the weather's completely different, the expectations are different, and the size of the club's different, so the demands are going to be different. So he's got to adapt to that. Over the course of the season, you could probably say he was a 6, 7 out of 10. There is potential there, but there are flaws in his game. Start of this tenure under Russell Martin, he's no started his tenure very well because he's been subbed twice at half time. So obviously Russell Martin wasn't too happy with him and had to put Max Arms out there. So he's now come in to that position that he's comfortable in the team, and he's having to prove himself all over again to the manager, which is not a bad thing, mate. But I think he would be really pleased with how he adapted his game to Tuesday night there and showed them, listen, maybe you can rely on me or here until you get somebody better. So I was quite chuffed for Jefte myself, David.
Bridge, I think obviously there was a language barrier there when he came as well. He was obviously learning English. Do you think you agree, Bridge, he was probably exposed to too many games last season because he was the only sort of fit left back that he was sort of trusted at the time? And like any young player coming to a new club, playing in the amount of games that he had to play in short space of time. And I think he did say he was tired in one of the games, I think, before we were going to Aberdeen. And a lot of people criticised him for it. And I thought, well, to be honest, why would you not be? He's a young boy, physically and mentally. It will drain you at Rangers because of the demands put on you. But also, I think he'd just been given too much football week in, week out, and probably did physically and mentally drain him a bit.
Yeah, I think it was more physical, to be honest. I agree with you. You said they're a young guy coming to a different team, 21 or 22-year-old, very difficult. And to step in to the pace of Scottish football and then in European games as well, it's really difficult, And everybody likes Jeff to the way he plays. I don't know anybody that hates him. But, you know, you could see that the fault, he's got major faults, the way he's been playing, it looks as if he's got some major faults in his game, and particularly with his fullback side of it. He continuously loses the sight of the opposition player and allows that person to go goal side without a challenge. So he'd have to get that. He's going to have to get that sorted. But the other night he came on and played. I thought he played, not come on, but he played the other night, and I thought he was excellent. I really do. I thought he had a smashing, best game I've seen him playing for a long time. You know, into everything, pace running with the ball and things like that, joining in with the attacks. Really good to see. You know, and defending wise, well. Sometimes they get a bit of roasting because of the possession football that the teams play. Well, we play that possession football as well, and we give the teams a roasting sometimes, you know. But it's there and it equalises it out, in my opinion. I think we've done well. That whole defence was a lot better, a million times better than it's been for any game this season. So the manager, it must be good for the manager to watch that, and he's got people to pick from, you know. So I do like Jeffy. I always did, but I was a critic of him at the times when he was really, really bad. And the only thing I've got really bad to say about him is he's horrible taking throw-ins. He can't connect with a throw-in. He just can't do it. For some reason or other, it invariably ends up with the opposition. He was well just throwing the ball into the middle of the park and leaving it go, you know.
Aye, I think tomorrow, I don't know if you two will agree, but I think if he was looking at tomorrow's game, I think he's got to keep the jersey, and he's think differently.
No, for me, mate, definitely keeps the jersey there. Spoke about it the other night when we seen the team with Rob, and we spoke about it on Wednesday in the show yourself with Stevie. He offers a balance, a natural balance to the team. So Max Arns was always coming inside on his right foot and shutting out the space that Suter was potentially running into. So the opponents were reading it quite easily, and we were quite easy to shut down, where Jefty can play it up the wing and look to run up the wing as well to receive it. So he offers us that natural balance and width. So definitely for me, yeah. It's Jefty's jersey until we maybe get a new signing in there. But definitely I would be keeping Max Arns at right back and all. You'll come on to that probably.
Bridget, I think you'd agree. I think at the moment Jefty should keep the jersey for tomorrow. And see how it goes. And his performance-wise, I think he'd keep the jersey. And I do believe we probably will try and get a left back or a left centre back, hopefully over a period of time. But we probably need competition, because I don't think Robbie Fraser is going to be anywhere about the squad going forward. But it looks at it, because he's hardly done any game time or in any of the squads of late, Bridge. So I think we're probably looking to bring in a left back, and then it'll help Jefty and not have so many games to play on a regular basis.
Well, it'd be good for Jefty, because somebody breathing down his neck, shall we say, a bit of competition. But, you know, I'm not saying that Jefty is the best left back in the world. Don't get me wrong. I don't even know if he is a left back. So I don't know what when he came to Rangers, was he a left back with the team he came from? I don't know. He does the turn. He did the wee turn the other night there, and it was really good and nice to see him doing it. He's got a bit of pace. I don't know what was wrong with him in the last season there. He was failing a wee bit. But I no problem. Play him. But if you can get a chance at getting an actual left back who can actually follow the game and don't lose his markers and things like that, you know, just mark the person out. If you get somebody that can do that, then Jefty's got a trial up for his place then, and a challenge for his place, you know. I would like to see that. Well, the boy Aaron's at right back looked more comfortable, most comfortable he's looked. So I would doubt very much if Tavernier's going to get his place back there quite quickly, you know. But you don't know. His experience is massive, you know. Great experience in Europe and all that. But the boy Aaron's played very well. For me, the two fullbacks are all right, in my opinion. So we're waiting for the clanger for the fullback. I mean, Tavernier's a major number of clangers. So these boys have got to give them a chance with a new team and the style that we're doing. And the football play at pace, magic.
Aye, I know we were linked to Owen Beck a while ago, but I think that fell through. I quite liked him. I thought when he was up on loan and at Dundee, I thought he done very well in the games that I watched him. And obviously we're keen to try and get him, but for one reason or another, that deals fell through. And I know we're linked supposedly with the boy Mendy. Whether he comes or no, or whether he's going to stay in Spain, gets another offer, whatever, I don't know. I usually just wait till they sign at the club, but we've been linked in that sort of area where it's left centre back or left back, and I think it's two positions, AK, that I think they're probably looking to try and fill before the end of the transfer window.
I think it's positions that certainly Russell Martin would like to get somebody in there. Obviously, we've got the big boy Fernandes that we're still to introduce to the team, but if we can get a competition for places, mate, and an even better player, so to speak, than what we've got already, I think that's what Russell Martin's looked to do. He's not just looking to build a team, he's looking to build a squad. But every new player that we see introduced to the team has certainly made an impact. I mean, Gassama, Ant-Man, Rothwell, Giga. Big Giga's been outstanding, by the way. I really, really like him. As good a centre-half as I've seen it in a Rangers jersey for a few years. I don't know what you think of that South Side and Bridge, but I really like the big man. He just strolls through games, and he's Bridge, man, he's a dream for you, the size and stature of him, and just the way he reads the game, but really like to see that. And the player, and we'll also to see Asgard and Mikey Moore too. So things are looking positive, pal, but we also need to offload a few because the wage bill and things like that. So hopefully we're still plenty of business before the end of the month and the end of the transfer window.
Well, if it's true, with the bit that I've seen, if we've offered Mendy, we spoke to him and we offered him terms and whatever, and whether he chooses to come or no, we'll find out. I think rumours are he's probably going to stay in Spain. But the fact that we're going for players, Bridge, and if it's true that we're making contact and we're offering contracts and we're trying to get a deal done, then obviously they'll maybe know in the background how close certain players might be to going out the door, but it doesn't seem to be stopping us going and inquiring and trying to sign another player.
Yeah, and it's nice to see that because the fans like that. They like to see that the manager, as a club, we're active in the sort of transfer market area, even scouting type thing, And that chap they're talking about getting from, was it Mendy? Did you say his name was Mendy? Aye. Well, he's a left-footed centre half, left-sided centre half. Naturally, I think he's a natural left footer, which is a good thing to have. Because in our team, you've got John Suter playing in the left-sided part of it. But the big fella, is it Fernandes or whatever his name is? He's a left-sided centre half. So you can't get enough left footers. I'll tell you that in your team. You can't get enough of them because they naturally produce the thing that's called balance. If you can get balance in your team, then you'll be doing well. So if you've got a left back and a left-footed centre half playing in the left side of the centre half and a right-footed for the other two, you're going to do very, very well. I'm not saying that they're going to always have to do that because there might be a slight change required and they can fill in on the right side. But naturally to set up there, you're going to play a centre half and naturally right-footed and a naturally left-footed centre half, and that's the balance. And they should work in with their fullbacks, no problem at all. And then your passage should go the right way. You don't have to pull. They don't have to pull the ball over to the right to make a pass, because that's another. You're touching the ball twice or something like that, twice or three times, just to get your ball into the right place so you can make a good pass. Whereas if you're doing it for the left, then you'll naturally do it. And if you can read the game and see the spaces, then your quid's in.
And you can't also, when Suter comes out on the left, and he's always going to go towards the left wing. You know, it's going to the left fullback, unless he tries to play a ball off inside midfield. But you've not got that switch to the right-hand side either, which left centre-back's done. We used to watch Terry Butcher do it long for years, didn't we?
Wonderful.
He would just ping that ball with his left peg, you know. So that's the only sort of thing. But John Suter's coming into the last year of his contract, isn't he? And we've not offered him anything yet, which would make me think, is he going to be part of their plans long term or no? I know Russell Martin gave him the captaincy. He might be a Russell Martin player. I don't know, going forward, but we'll find out in time. Should we go out and buy a left back? Now, Manny Fernandez is bothering me because I think we paid a bit too much according to what they were saying in the Peterborough sites and stuff. They didn't think, they were really shocked we paid £3.5 million for him. And we had Enciala there, who his passing probably lets him down. I know he looked no bad in some games at passing, but in the B team, his passing was pretty erratic for a lot of the time. And then he had a couple of games like that as well, where his passing was off. But the fact that we're not giving him a chance or trying to develop him on at the moment through being with the first team, we've paid £3.5 million, and that boy to me is sitting in the exact same place at the moment as NCL is.
Yeah, aye. I think maybe tomorrow is the actual ideal game to introduce him. I mean, a home game, Ibrox, Dundee, no the strongest opponent. You're going to have plenty of the ball. Shouldn't be under too much pressure. So do you think he could introduce him tomorrow and take Suter out the equation just to kind of give him that environment? It could be an option.
I think he could. I'll come to Bridge with that one. I think he could. I think it's more likely it'll be the following week against Alwa. But I would like to see him tomorrow play with either Suter or Giga. It doesn't bother me about one. Because I think if he played with Suter, you get Suter in his natural position on the right-hand side, which would be fair to him. But either or, Bridge, do you think you'll see him tomorrow, or do you think you'll wait till the Alwa game?
Well, forgive my ignorance, I'm not 100% sure what's wrong, if there's anything wrong with him, or indeed if it's just the manager hasn't picked him up yet. He doesn't see fully fit or fully match fit, and maybe something in there. I just don't know. But he's 6'4.5", 6'5", or whatever it is. He'll do for me. He'll do for me. If he can play football now, we don't know if he can play football. I think he can. I think he's played a couple of times, maybe as a subby. But you need to get him playing. If you're going to say he's going to be one of our centre halves, even in the pool, the squad, whatever you want to call it, it's got to be played. And I think tomorrow will be a fantastic game for them. But I also agree the next game at against Alloa will be a good game for him to play against them, playing in there. But he needs to play. And if the guy's injured and he's carrying a knock, got a knock or something, then that's fair enough. But there's no need to be keeping a player you played £3.5 million for or whatever it was, keep him on the bench. No need for that at all. Get him in the team. Let's see what he's got. And then you can start, get him a couple of games. So play him tomorrow and play him against Alloa and see what happens. It gives a chance to let Suter get a rest, if you follow what I mean, for the European game. That's the way I think about it. But as far as I'm concerned, I believe the guy's a good player. I'm looking for somebody that, if you're going to play in Scotland as a centre half, then you better be able to head that ball, because the ball comes up at 100 mile an hour. You better be able to head the ball. You better be able to reach it. And that's why you want a big tall fella to get in there. No, I mean, how can I say it? There's a lot of teams play tall centre halves against us, and they're shall we say, fighting. They're fighting guys, and we need people to be able to fight against them. And how many times have we seen their centre halves getting out jumped when the ball comes up? My God. We can't afford that. That's got to stop. And we've got to do better. So for me, I would play the boy. Obviously, as I said, if he's injured, he's injured. If he's carrying a knock, then he's carrying a knock. Then there's nothing we can do about it. If he's out of favour with the manager, then we need to get that sorted. There's got to be a reason for that when they get that problem solved, because you just paid $3.5 million for him. So you need to play him. He's got to play.
Right, I'll tell you what we'll do. We've got a Russell Martin interview. We broke it down. We've got a wee bit first half that we'll listen to, and we'll hear what you had to say about the game tomorrow, if it's all right with you two guys, and then straight after that we'll get the phone lines opened. So if you would like to go on mute, we'll hear what Russell Martin had to say in the first part of his interview.
Russell, how much are you looking forward to trying to take the good things you did the other night into your first home league match?
Yeah, I just want to see similar attitude to perform, a bit more learning, a bit more development, some stuff we did really well the other night and some stuff we can definitely do better. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what the guys put out on the pitch. I think just try to get them fresh and recovered after the other night and ready in a few tactical bits over the last couple of days. But the same process for us, try and learn as much as we can from the other night and try and improve. In
terms of availability, is there any update on Mikey Moore?
Yeah, still not quite there. So it's a bit frustrating for him and for us, but because he's deemed a minor by FIFA and so there's a lot of protocol and stuff you have to go through, but not quite yet.
Had you expected that to be done by now? That where your frustration comes from?
I think it can take a little while. I mean, he's 18 in 7 days or something like that, so it'll be available then for us, so we might have to wait till then, but hopefully we'll get him ready for Tuesday, hopefully.
Fans seems like they've also been waiting. Every week we keep asking about Hamza Gaman, Telo Asgard. Any closer?
No, same answer really. I think they've both made really good steps the last few days. Been really positive few days for them. Lots of work on the training pitch. So they're fit to be on the grass, and they've been working really hard with the rehab guys, but not quite ready to be involved in the squad yet.
Is the full focus for Hamza just on that fitness? Because obviously there's been a similar, speculation about his future anyway.
Yeah, I think he missed 2 weeks because of the visa thing, so probably came back quite a bit behind the other group, and we tried to speed up the process of getting him ready to train, and then he played his first minutes and picked up an injury because the intensity is a bit different in the game. So now we have to get him really ready to actually perform and not risk being injured again. But in terms of the speculation stuff, we've not had any bids for Hamza, and he's a really good lad. He's really got on with it and working really hard with his English and everything else. So yeah, just needs to get fully fit, I think.
Russell, just looking at the squad as a whole, how much business do you hope to still maybe be able to do in what remains of the window?
I think that, yeah, we're really strong in some areas now. We're less strong in others, and then we have to be ready if anyone moves on as well. So I think it's the same thing. I think we'll try and improve the squad wherever we can. I think we've really sort of drilled down to a couple of key areas we need to make sure we have strength and depth in, and we'll do it when it's right for us, I think, when we have the right people and the right time for us. So yeah, I don't think we're done. I don't think we're done by any stretch of imagination, but also don't envisage there being another 6 or 7. So it'll depend on who goes out as well at some time. But yeah, I think we still need to strengthen a few bits.
What areas do you think could require a bit more depth, perhaps? Or
well, you'll see in the next few weeks, I would have thought.
Just finally, sorry, I was going to ask, when you were talking about the learning and the development there, Russell, how much do you focus on the very good stuff you saw midweek versus what you saw maybe last weekend? How much do you balance the good and the bad that you've seen?
Well, I think there's always a balance. We have to reinforce some of the stuff. So from Saturday to Tuesday, there was a lot of improvement in a lot of areas. So you have to reinforce the good stuff, but then it's also our job to be really demanding of the guys and make sure that they understand there's still a lot that we can do better. And when they see it and when they feel it, Tuesday will be so good for them on the pitch to feel certain things, and then when they come in here and watch it, and it becomes even clearer. So they're building relationships all the time, and we're trying to develop something that will be sustainable and look like us all the time, hopefully. So Tuesday definitely was a step towards that. Now the challenge is to do it again tomorrow.
Russell, the team you named against Victoria Pilsen appeared on social media maybe about 8 hours before kick-off. When did you become aware of that? What do you make of that situation?
Oh, when these guys told me when I turned up to the stadium, so I'm not on any social media for reasons that are really obvious to me, but maybe not to others. But I can't really control any of that. So I think it's become a bit more common in the modern game. I don't think anyone would do it from inside this building to intentionally hurt us. And also, like, I've always named the team really early when I've been a coach or manager, because then people don't waste energy and time wondering if they're in a team. We can actually work on certain things. The guys who are not playing, you get extra work in. But it's the modern game. People are left out. They tell agents, they tell their friends and family. Then somehow it gets to you guys very quickly. But again, I choose to trust that no one does it to try and hurt us intentionally, so I can't really control anything else. I've said to the guys, it's not ideal, but also I'm not going to lose sleep over it, and it is what it is.
So you seem quite relaxed about it.
I'm not sure it changes the opposition's plan, finding out about the team 8 hours before they've done pretty much all of their work, I presume. So, yeah, it is what it is.
You said as well that you're going to utilise the squad because of the amount of games it's going to be. Will we see that in effect this weekend again?
I think over the next 2 games you'll probably see it. Yeah, I would have thought. It's all about freshness now, but also trying to build up a performance and consistency in relationships. So there's a balance between both. We had a couple of people who were picked up a few minor knocks on Tuesday, so we're managing them as well. So yeah, we'll see.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Aye, phone lines are open, so if you'd like to come in and join us tonight, you'd be thoroughly appreciated and most welcome. Picked up a few points there. He mentioned he wants a similar attitude, AK, tomorrow starting off. And obviously the two still injury and still struggling a bit with their rehab. And not quite ready as Asagard and Higmani. I think we probably have thought that might be the case. I thought actually Asgard might have been back this weekend, but obviously not.
I'm honestly, I'm disappointed we've not seen him so far. I mean, that's 3-4 weeks ago. The last time we heard that he got a knock in one of the behind closed doors match. I can't mind, was it Dunfermline or Hamilton or something? But we were told it was a dead leg, and he was hopeful for the first Panathinaikos game. So I'm a wee bit concerned. No overly concerned, but why we not seen him yet? But having said that, we've now got Ant-Man, and Gassama's stepped up as well, so thankfully we're no missing him. But I think he'll be an important player as long as he stays fit, because really, honestly, he's one of the best young players I've seen for a long time. And Mikey Moore, we'll need to get my birthday card then next week so he can play in the team. And Igaman, that's obviously he's just coming up to fitness and stuff. I mean, you don't know what to believe, whether he's getting held at the team because of the kind of potential transfer that's surrounding him, or is because of the 2-week delay with his, the visa stuff. Is he just behind schedule and he's just he's maybe trying to protect him a bit. We don't know for sure, but having they 3 coming back into the team and into the squad would certainly strengthen up top, that's for sure, mate.
Aye, Igmani and Asagard, disappointed that I've not seen Asagard yet, because I think he'll be really good when he gets going. But I think the most common sense thing today is if we can get by the now without the two of them and get them up to fitness, then I think until Asagard comes back, I think he will look good, and you want him fully fit. You don't want him brightened down. In the same way, Igmani, when he comes back, Russell Martin said there's been no bids apart from Cyril Dessers, so I take it that's what it must be. So I think we just need to try and get them back to fitness, bridge as quickly as we can. The games come thick and fast, so at some point they're going to appear and get some game time and get into rhythm, and then try and build up their game time.
Yeah, the way the team just played the other night. Whoever's not in the team or in the squad at that point, when it can be a long way back. Because if we start playing and continue playing well, the chances are you're going to be dealing with 15 to 16 players as the key. If you've got your 15 or 16 ready and they're doing the business for you, wow, it's really difficult for somebody to come in. And Igamani, as maybe 6 months ago, was absolutely flying, absolutely brilliant, great player, scoring goals, making goals. and so on and so forth. And he's hardly touched the ball for the last 3 months. And that's the truth. He's not done a great deal, and that's what is disappointing, because he's got maybe a wee knock, he's maybe a wee international, he got a knock, and so on and so forth. The other guy, I can't remember, what's the guy that's not even had a chance to play for us yet? Somebody tell us his name again.
Mikey Moore.
The chap that's on is there, but he's not been picked yet because he's carrying an injury.
I tell Asgard.
I said Asgard, apologies. So, you know, in a month's time, if we're still playing this squad we've got, and the answers are coming through, and we're getting players there, and we're still in Europe and so on and so forth, you're not going to take a chance and play someone who's just back from injury. They've got a long, long way to go if they can't make the team right at this time in the season. It's really difficult for people and the manager. So it's going to be interesting to see, because this team, if they're going to continue playing the way they're playing, which is really good, the fans are really keen for it, and everything's on the go. They're not going to want to see big changes in the team for someone who's not quite fit yet, not 100% fit, and so on and so forth. You start to lose impetus, you start to lose the pace in the team. You don't want that. So they better get themselves, I'm talking about the club now, they better get themselves a shake and find out what's wrong with these players if they can't play. It's mental. They're sitting with, 4, maybe 5 players there that have not played yet this season, and so on and so forth. That's nonsense. It's got to go. These are our top players. These are going to be our best players. They need to play. Get the injuries sorted out and find out why. Why is Asgard? What's the matter with him? Is he badly injured? Is he just had a wee knock? Who knows? We're not getting told then. I've never heard then, so forgive me. We need to get them in. Sorry, pal.
No, they're back. They're back in training. They're on the grass, he said. So you're hoping that we could say another week down the line, will the Bolingham be able to take any part in the Alloa game if you look to that game? Because after that, I'll probably talk about that later on. Obviously, we've got the St Mirren game, which I believe will get cancelled. Should be going to the next round of Europe. So we've got the Alloa game that next a week tomorrow, and whether that will help them in their rehabilitation, they're coming back, then AK will find out when we get to the Alloa game. But one thing I think we can think is we'd like to see Manny Fernandez get a game at some point. Even tomorrow, AK, if we were 3 up and he's on the bench, I wouldn't have a problem with just making take one of the centre backs off and give him some game time.
Absolutely, mate. Could not agree with you more there. Introduce him to the team, introduce him to the crowd, and let him settle into the environment he's in now, because he's going to be nervous, playing inside of that crowd and the platform that Ibrox gives you. If we're hopefully comfortable in front of Dundee, we've got plenty of the ball, we've got a chance to take off one of our key defenders, give him a wee bit of rest time. It's just all about cleverness for the management team, innit? And utilising the squad the way you've got. So this is what you're going to be doing. And I heard Albert last night, and he's absolutely bang on. I couldn't agree more. It's about squad now. It's not about first 11. It's about 16, 17, 18 players, and he's got to satisfy as many of them as he can. They've all got to do that. You see bigger squads than ours, playing Champions League and all that, Premier League, and you've got to give them all kind of game time. And it's not an easy thing to do, but you've also got to keep a consistency in the results to get the momentum, keep winning. So introducing these players into the team when you can do is excellent man management for me, excellent for the player, and it keeps everybody happy, keeps people on their toes as well, because if he comes in and performs well, if need be, he calls upon him, he's ready. If a suitor of that goes off for him, he's got an injury, and that's what you're wanting, competition for places. But going back to what Albert said last night, he's looking for everybody to run their guts out, empty their tanks 60, 70 minutes. This is what all the managers seem to be doing now. And then whoever's coming on to replace them, keep that intensity up and let them empty their tank 25, 30 minutes, whatever it is they're on the park, and just to keep the tempo up.
Aye, hello
Enjoying
Neil,
that
how you
call,
doing, pal? Aye, how you
I'm
doing,
great,
Neil?
mate. Nice to meet you all.
Aye, good to hear you on. What's your thoughts, mate? Would you like to say?
Right, I'll tell you what it is. I'm not happy with Raskin. I get a feeling it doesn't want to be there. I don't know if it's me or just these things have been picking up over the last 2 or 3 weeks. It seems to be somewhere else. Is there something in the pipeline doing that there's a bid coming in for him, or what do you think, guys?
All right, good one. Neil, I'll pass that to AK first and then Bridgeman can give his opinion. AK?
Good evening, Neil. Welcome
evening,
to the
mate.
show. Good evening, pal. Listen, I don't know if you watched some podcasts or that, but I was actually saying pre-show there to Bridge. I watched one the other night there with All About the Jers, I think it's called, with Ricky Neal
Right.
and Charlie Miller and Derek Ferguson. And
Right.
they were actually saying they were getting a wee bit of inside info that Raskin has no been happy for the start of the season, and he's meant to have chapped in the manager's door and want to know where his position lies in the club, and he's no happy no being the number one choice for the number 6. According to them, it might be rubbish, but if that's the case and Russell Martin decides that Rothwell is his number 6, Raskin either needs to take it in the chin and go on with it, show a better attitude and date for the team, or else we need to cash in on him and utilise his transfer fee for somewhere else in the team. No individual's bigger than the team, pal, you know that. That's what we're brought up on. It's all about the team for me.
These things I've been noticing here the last 2 or 3 weeks. Just you get the feeling he's just no all way. It's not like him, eh?
I think Neil probably, I'll come to Bridge next, I think probably because he's been the mainstay. He had a good end of season. Barry Clement brought him back in eventually, had him out for a while and he done all right. And then obviously he seemed to be your main man in the middle of the park last year with the squad that was playing. I think Rothwell, when Martin brings him in, is going to be his player. At the moment, for me, I would play Raskin in a 6. I don't think Rothwell's up to fitness yet, but I understand you need to give him game time to get him up to it, and he fancies him. I think he's a more neat and tidy player than Raskin. I think Raskin's all energy and about you, but he's got a tendency to lose the ball and then he's got to track back, and you'll probably find Raskin will pick up more bookings than Rothwell will. But I've said on here last week, I believe Raskin will go. Him or Diamonde. I believe one of them will go. But I'll come to Bridge and then we'll come back to you, Neil, right? Bridge, what do you think? What Neil's saying?
Well, I think there's many people like Neil who got that same fear, because that's what it is. You see a guy who's chipped in tail end of last season and played brilliantly, scoring goals. He's one of our most dangerous players at free kicks or corners, near the opposition goal. Scored a few goals, created goals. He was a tremendous player. There's something no right now. I don't know what it is, and that's probably because this other guy's in, and he's doing quite well. So he's got to get back onto the pitch again, and he's got to show he can play and shall we say contribute the way he was contributing when he was scoring goals and things like that. So he's got to do that. How he does it, I don't know. But the main thing is that the manager's made his mind up at the moment. He's going one way, and it looks like Raskin might be going another way. If you follow what I mean, he doesn't seem to be. He doesn't seem to be happy. And an unhappy player is one of the worst things that can happen to your dressing room. An unhappy player. So it's really difficult.
I don't mind the fact.
Whether he wants to. Sorry.
No, you go, Neil.
It's whether he wants to fight for his place. Is it too much for him to sort of say, right, I will fight for my place, or has he got his mind on another team, or I would rather be somewhere else, sort of thing? And the guy just saying there, if your mind's not on the game, you're well away. Simple.
Aye, I think we'll find out in time, Neil. He's got 2 years left in his contract. We can't afford him to get done his last season, his contract. We've been in this, we've seen this movie a million times, so probably the club have to look at it. Raskin,
Aye.
12. I think
10, 12.
I think you could easily go between 10 and 15. I would think.
Aye, that's what I was thinking. 10, 12.
And if the right club come in, then easily that. Listen, he's breaking into the national team. He has the six in there. He did play further forward for the under-21s, believe it or not. They pushed him a bit further forward when he played at that time. But since he came into the national team, he's been sitting in the six. He wants to obviously play week in, week out, obviously. So I don't mind these chat to managers, though. And if the manager then gives him an answer, and then it's up to him whether he takes it on board. And if the manager says, well, I'm going to play you as an 8 or one of the forward, left or right of the midfield, he's been playing left, which I don't think he's been too comfortable. And I think Lyle Cameron went in there, played after left, and he played it really well. And Jefty, obviously, he'd helped with Jefty in there. Jefty linked to play, and I think Lyle Cameron done well in that space, which set up chances and the goals for us with Gismarad in the left. So I think it was more productive, Neil, having A3 on at the one time.
I heard Barry saying that they tried to get him forward a wee bit more, into the box, round about the box and in the box. They were trying to get him forward and that, not to sit so deep. But whether Martin wants to play him like that sort of thing, like, you know, different, eh?
The thing about it probably, Neil, is probably when he brings in Tel Asgard, he's probably going to play in where either Raskin or Diamandi has been playing when Rothwell's played. I would think that's where he's going into one of their positions. The fact that we've brought him in, he's getting in there, and then Raskin might find himself no getting a game at that time. So I don't mind him getting in and asking the manager, and the manager wants to explain it to him. I would like the two of them to fight for the position, but I understand that he might not be happy with that, and if he wants to go, Neil, and we get the right bid in from it, will help us hopefully progress other players into other. Are you happy with the recruitment so far, Neil?
If you asked me last week, I would have probably said no.
Oh, I know. Coming out that grunt, man, over us spewing, I'm telling you.
Oh, my God. But I think the gas man's going to be some player for us, like. I think he's going to step up to the mark. And that big guy at the back, the Ziga, he looks a bit of class too. So, I mean, they two and Ant-Man come on there, well, played on Tuesday night, played really well. So, looking forward, I mean, I really feel I've got a good vibe about it, like, you know. But it's time will tell. Injuries and things like that. You can only hope. That's all you can do. You can just hope.
What's your thoughts in the striking department? Big Dessers keeping the jersey now.
He's another young. He wanted away, and then he didn't want away, and then he wanted to stay. And I mean, much is it going to cost to replace him? That's the way I looked at it.
Aye, well,
we're talking 6-7 million to replace him, sort of thing, like, you know, we're a half decent player.
Aye, we were linked with the Israeli boy. Third.
What's happened there with that guy? Is it off or?
Well, we've no moved probably one of the strikers on that I think we might have, but I don't know. If we've not any bids, then maybe I'm surprised, but I thought the Israeli boy that we've been linked with looked really good, and I know Fox liked him and all for what he'd seen him, so I would like him to have come in, AK.
Listening to that interview, I don't think he's fin. Sorry, when you go.
Right. No, I think you're right. I know Fox spoke about him last year in glowing terms. Young guy. What was he, 22, I think he was. He had a good goal-scoring record. He was that kind of focal point up top. Everything but that Dessers is, except Dessers is 8 years older than him. So I think we were kind of looking at it financial point of view, because Dessers in the last 2 years of his contract, his value is going to deteriorate if we do keep him. The thing about it, though, that's flipped it a wee bit for me, and I think you see this with Russell Martin, is Danielo's came in there. He did a decent pre-season, no outstanding, but when it's went competitive games, he's hardly had a shot at goal. He's hardly had a service to get a shot at goal. But the difference with Dessers coming into that team is the focal point on Tuesday was night and day for what Danielo was offering him. So I think if you asked Russell Martin now, out of the 3 strikers that we've got, I think he would like to keep Dessers and punt Danilo if he could. And I think the supporters would be the same. I don't know if that's a possibility.
He mentioned that on last Sunday. He says if everybody had the passion of Big Dessers, he says when he came on, he ran his heart out. He says to the end of the match, and he says if we all had a bit of passion like him, we wouldn't be far wrong, sort of thing.
You always know. I know he came in as an older player, but some older players have come in the past and not handled the atmosphere at Ibrox and playing for the jersey, Neil. But Dessers can handle the club. He handles it. I mean, some of the abuse he's taken, been booed on and booed off and everything, you know, and he still come back and still put himself up there. And I admire the big man, you know. And listen, all strikers missed, if you remember back, Neil, remember Ali McCoy? I mean, the whole Copeland Road Stone were telling him where to go when Dundee came to Ibrox and gubbed us 3-0. But he come back and Ali then went on to become a legend as a Rangers player. So, but Big Dessers, when you look at the amount of goals he scored and he quite a lot of assists, and the assist the other night, you don't know if Dessers is capable of that, as we know. We know he is, but he doesn't always manage it because his touch and his control lets him down. But it was a great wee reverse pass into him for the gas man, and it set his off on the road, and then obviously he scores the penalty. So, listen, I like him. I've got a soft spot for him because I think he turns up for his work every week. He turns up every week, Neil, you know, and he puts heart and soul in it usually.
I know. He's just... he's a likeable big fella. He's always smiling. You always get 100% out of him. Always get 100% out of him, no matter who you're playing.
I think he suits him in Europe and Albridge. I think he's had some good games in Europe. Sometimes no holding the ball up. At times in games when it's been up, but he's had a couple of good games when his touch was just fantastic. Haven't he done that night? I can't remember. It was one of the away games. Was it Fenerbahce away? I think he was really good that night, wasn't he, Bridge?
Aye. Look, there's something about him. The word enigma has been said, and it's probably true. When he's on form, and the things that you're saying there, when he's doing these great things on the pitch, scoring goals, making goals, or being involved, running and catching and holding the ball up, all of these things. When he's doing that and he's on form, he's a really good player. He looks good and he looks dangerous. But sometimes when if he starts the game off and he tries to do a wee flick and it doesn't come off, he gets angry with himself and it puts him off. And it takes him 20 minutes to actually touch a ball after that sometimes. So, you know what I mean? Well, that's what you see it every week. That's what I see anyway. You can see sometimes it just, geez, you know. And you see him throwing himself to the ground and talking to the referee. Now, by the way, a lot of the times he's doing that, he has been fouled. He has had his jersey pulled. We've seen the jersey nearly ripped off him sometimes and he get nothing. You know, so... But I sometimes think we're hard done by, but that might be because he does the silly things, and the referee notices the silly things, and whenever a real thing comes up, they're not going to get it, you know. And we know the referees in this country will do that. But I think, look, I don't know how many years Dessers has got. 2 years left. Well, if we can't move him now, for instance, this season, and get some money for him, you're not going to get any for him over the next 12 months, right? So he's going to be sitting here this time next season, and nobody's going to buy him. He's too old. That's what I think. So this is a season he's got to make some money off of Dessers and let him go. Or if you're going to keep him, you need to invest in him. He's going to be your centre forward, and he's got to carry our team forward. Put some belief into him and allow him to carry on doing it. That's a straight choice for me. You need to sell the guy or keep him. If you're going to keep him, you need to invest in him and the fans as well. You can't have this and then come Christmas time, we think he's rubbish. Too late. Got a chance now. If there's anybody in with money for him, take the money, let the guy go and do what he's got to do. There's a lot of fans have turned on him and nicely, like, you know, but they've changed their mind. They thought he was a big dumpling, and now they think he's great. So Well, I mean, I'm not being funny when I say it. A lot of guys do think he's great. Other guys are sitting in the fence, don't know which way to go, simply because it's Dessers. So I would suggest to the team, either make up your mind whether you'd like to keep him or sell him. If you're going to keep him, invest in him and let him get on with his game.
You just send him a video of his goals against Real Betis, Man United, Nice and Fenerbahce. There you go. And see here, the price is now 8 million.
So say that's a wee bit of the opposite of me. I thought I was great, now they think I'm a big dumpling.
But I know we know we've got to keep winning. That's the thing as well. We're trying to rebuild this squad.
It doesn't need to be nice. It doesn't need to be pretty. Just 3 points every week. That's all we're looking for. I don't know if we're ready for the Champions League yet or no, but well, that's another story,
Well, just as long as you're going to get the kudos and take off of their dough off them, we deserve to be in it. I'm sure the Andrew Kavanagh and that will be happy if we can get into the Champions League. It'll be a good bonus for them. Might even bring in more commercial stuff that we might be able to put in place. A couple of big sponsorships or something. You never know what that might bring to the table. And obviously, we might attract more players before the window shuts, that if we can get there. We've certainly got one fit in the next round, I'd like to think. I don't see us caving in. I think we'll score over there. So I'd like to think that we're waiting to see who it's going to be, Salzburg or Club Brugge again, Neil.
But they've won up, haven't they, Brugge, didn't they?
Aye, Brugge are one up.
That's right, aye. Well, you never know. But one other thing I was going to say to you, the Igaman situation, I mean, does he want to keep that lad, or does he want to try and cash out on him?
Who did you say?
Igamani.
I would like to think that we would keep him if we gave him a 5-year contract. I don't think there's a big thing to rush him out the door. No. We've not got a striker in yet, I know we've been linked with one or two, but nothing's happening. And as we spoke about, and as what Bridge mentioned, if we don't get the right money in, the club aren't willing to sell Dessers. So they've got a figure that they want in for him, and I think he'd be happy to stay, and I think he would contribute. And at the end of the day, if you're going to be successful, we win the league and we get into the Champions League, what's left on his contract next season when it comes round will not really matter. No. To be honest, in money terms, do you know what I mean, Neil? I don't know. Listen, Neil, we're just going to put the boys in mute and go to a tune.
Okay, pal.
So I'd like to thank you, mate, for phoning up and appreciate it. First time caller, was it?
Yep, nice meeting all of you.
Aye, you've been listening for a while.
Neil. Well done.
And here's hoping them on, we can put 2 or 3 past us, Dundee.
Where's your wee twang for you for Dundee? 5?
Me, I'm Falkirk.
Falkirk.
Aye, right in the middle.
You'll be all right when Rangers go through to Falkirk then, eh? Get your ticket.
That's it. Well, I've already fixed that.
Aye. That's just you having a fault. We'll be contacting you, Neil, just in case. There's only 749 tickets, so we'll give you a call if we're struggling.
I'll see what I can do. All right, mate, guys, listen, take care.
Thanks very much, Neil, for phoning in. I appreciate it, mate.
Yep. See you later, guys, eh?
Thank you.
Neil. Top man.
Bye.
A sensible caller, eh? Okay.
Aye, that'll never go down well. Well done, Neil, for breaking your duck. Don't be a stranger, mate. Well done.
I made some good points, didn't he, Bridge, Neil, there? He's on mute, or he's... Tell you what today, it's time for the tune. I'll come back to you, Bridge. Right. AK, it's time for the tune, so if you'd like to go and mute, we'll hear what the techie team have for us tonight.
It's a place of great fame. It lies to the northland, and Ulster's its name. It has only 6 counties, but all are renowned, and its emblem is a red hand, topped by the Queen's crown. Now the Germans came over in the year 41, and they tried to destroy us by bomb and by gun. But our history will tell them of others who tried. Our sons defended Ulster. They fought and they died. If a baby should speak to in his own rebel tongue, he will speak of our friendship. What can we be one? Just to point to the red hand, topped by the Queen's crown. Say we're side by side with Scotland, and they won't let us down. Like brothers and sisters, that is all toast as one. That is ring to our Ulster, its heroes and sons. And while we are toasting to names we must join, that of William, Prince of our race, and the banks of the Boyne.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
You like that one, AK?
Oh,
One of the
class,
best.
mate.
One of the
Absolute
best.
class. Been class all week. Well done, the techie team. Absolutely brilliant all week.
On the banks of the Boyne. Yes.
Aye, Albert sent me a text. Him and his missus were dancing about there in the living room. We thoroughly enjoyed that one as well. So it wasn't just as well it wasn't it wasn't Ibrox Sonia he played. They've been covering his ears.
Oh,
Did he get a cold shoulder?
Thing is, Mrs. Albert likes it. That's the thing.
I love it,
Mrs.
by the way.
Albert likes it.
Ibrahimsona, absolutely
Yes.
fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. If I could sing, I'd sing that, I'll tell you.
Aye, it's took off well in it with the support. I mean,
Oh, magic. Just magic.
Bobby Parks.
and you know-
Bobby Parks used to do it, Bridge. No, many
Aye.
years ago. Going back
Aye.
even 15 years ago or something. Bobby
Yeah.
Parks sang that. No.
That's wonderful. And you know, the Bears, when you're away, and I know you go away again, particularly in Europe, and you hear that, gee, it just tugs at your heart, you know. It's fantastic. You know, and it's just absolutely wonderful. Wonderful. I love it. The away support's excellent when you hear them doing it. Obviously brilliant at Ibrox, but when they're away, gee whiz, there's something about being away, isn't there? Love it.
Aye, when you travel the away games, whether it be Scotland or Europe, but you always find we're noisier, you know, and it's a far better atmosphere. Ibrox can be rocking at times and stuff. Don't get me wrong, but there's certain games, and if we're no be kidding on here, but there'll be a difference between there'll be a big difference between Dundee at home tomorrow and Dundee away. Still remember, just when I say Dundee away, the flashback to the pyro time at Dundee that day. But aye, Dundee away, obviously, when you're behind that goal and up in the stand to your right hand side, it's a lot noisier. If the UB in the set or the UB section, because I know there's a few groups in there, but the UB section, I mean, and to be honest, at times if they weren't singing and starting up songs, I hopes would be pretty quiet, to be honest.
On you go, Bridge.
Oh, sorry, bud. Yeah, aye. Well, what Southside said is 100% true. But I think it's that can be said about most grounds nowadays. They've all got a kind of wee singing section rather, and away they go, and they belt it out. But our singing section's excellent. I think they're just brilliant, and they're right down below me, and what do you call it, in the Copeland rear, and I'm in the Copeland here, and they're in the Copeland lower. It's just brilliant, you know. It's great to hear them, and I love the way they do it. It's just continuous, isn't it? Music. So well done to all of them, and they really bring life to the stadium at times, you know. Just magic. I know there's some folk no too keen in the Copeland to be too near them because they're quite loud, you know. But no, it's excellent. I think it's brilliant. From the exact opposite, they were up in the Copeland there, and you could, you know, when you could they used to reverberate right around the whole stadium. It was just brilliant. I just loved it. But more power to them. Power to them.
We used to do it every other Saturday one when they were in BF1 at the time. But I used to watch it just ripple right round the stadium. And even that song when they do it, it's a good one to get the stadium going at Ibrox, AK. You get a lot of people joining into it, especially when everybody's clamping at the same time. That you can hear it ripple right round the stadium.
Me and my wee pal Joe.
That's the one. That's the one.
Brilliant, isn't it? When Ibrox is bouncing, it's different. I mean, touching on the interview, I know we're going to hear Russell Martin's second part shortly, but even hearing Anthem today, he's saying it was fantastic, the atmosphere he thought at Ibrox there on Tuesday, and the boys actually said to him, that was nothing. Wait till it's really bouncing, wait till you experience an Old Firm game and things like that. So he's like, oh, wow, in anticipation. He's just loving the environment he's walked into. But our stadium's special, we're home. It's special, but the guy said you can feel the history round about Ibrox. It's like a museum, isn't it? When you walk up that marble staircase, you can see when Ibrox is at dark at night, you can see some of the ghosts in the park. They're great. Honestly, it is so special, brilliant. We should be proud of that stadium that we've got that we call home.
Aye, so hoping tomorrow when we get there, we'll have something to cheer them more, and the team will keep the support going through the game. We'll not get too flat because they will obviously come and defend. But I'll tell you what, Dave, you mentioned that Russell Martin's second part of his interview. So I'll tell you what, Dave, if you want to hit mute, we'll quickly get that played and out the road, and we'll see what you had to say in the second part. All right, guys.
Russell, can I ask about Max Aarons? Will he be fit to start tomorrow?
Yeah, he's fit. He trained today, so he's good, and he played really well the other night. It was good for him to be in his normal position. Jeff Day also played his first 90 minutes, so we'll have to manage all of that. But yeah, he was good.
There's been a few links with Nobel Mendy being one player this week. Don't expect to tell us if he's coming in or not, but would it be safe to assume that's a position you're definitely looking at?
I think there's been links to every position over the course of the last 5-6 weeks, so I think it's the same with everyone, and that's a really boring answer, but as and when that becomes something, if it does, then we'll let you know. But until then, he's probably a long list of players that we've been linked with.
Russell, you said last week that you're looking to bring more leaders into the building. How high on the priority list is that when you're looking at players to bring in?
I think it's always character before talent. So I think that's it's been really important for us. Joe Rothwell we knew, Max Aarons we knew, we trust. NASA we had brilliant references for. So when you look at all the guys, we made sure the character referencing first is really, really important. And then also for no fault of anyone's, we have a lot of players that don't actually speak the language. So that's also been a really important consideration. That it hasn't brought us out of it, but NASA speaks really good English. Gas has had 2 years here and speaks good English. So it's been really important actually, because we have a lot that are learning and it's not easy for them. So and we have a lot of young players. So it's a lot of things to take in consideration. But regardless of any of that, it has to be character before talent. You need a level of talent to even be watched, to take a look at, to try and get into this building. But then it's all about the character and what they're going to add. I think it's the most important bit, and it's the hardest thing to look at from just watching someone play. So we spend a lot of time speaking to coaches, players. If we don't know anyone there, finding someone who does, to make sure we're bringing in the right characters for us and the group, because the culture of this club and the team needed to improve, I think. The habits needed to improve, the mentality needed to improve. And I think character certainly helps that, so we'll definitely keep looking for that. And then maybe an experienced body helps the guys in big moments. So if you can find the right one in that sense, then great.
And Dundee this weekend, they come into the game not in the best run of form. How does that differ the challenge that you'll come up against?
I think every challenge is different up here. I think that's one of the biggest and most brilliant challenges for us, the coaching staff, is you have a game like Tuesday night and then a game tomorrow. So it's a different challenge, different opposition, different ways they're going to approach it. So we have to try and make the best educated guess in how Stephen and his coaching staff are going to approach the game. So we've watched them. I like a lot of the stuff they're trying to do and trying to implement. A new manager, so they're changing obviously, and they're still getting to grips with that. But they played really well against Hibs and were really unfortunate. Actually, like they had a few really good moments in the game. So we need to be prepared, and we have to concentrate on us and turn the game into what we want it to be, which I think the lads did on Tuesday nights, and now the challenge is to make sure we do that again.
When you first came in, you talked about wanting to dominate games, dominate every game you possibly can. Is that what these games, like tomorrow against an opposition at Ibrox, that you're expected to beat? Is that what tomorrow should look like?
No, I think we would need to get to a point where we expect that against anyone and everyone at Ibrox. But you don't just get given that. You have to earn the right, you have to earn respect, you have to earn a bit of fear. And we certainly do, because against Motherwell we didn't scare them enough, we didn't earn the right to really play our own game, to do it in our way. So you have to earn that first and foremost by being really aggressive, really front foot, be really brave with the ball. And on Tuesday night we did all those things, and we earned the dominance that we had in that game, and we have to do the same again tomorrow.
Russell, the problem with this squad in the last few years, and you've touched on this yourself, has been the ability to get up for big European games, big occasions, but then maybe struggle with the kind of bread and butter games. First of all, do you find that kind of hard to fathom, and also is tomorrow the perfect opportunity to show that won't be the case this season? Yeah,
I think we're really early on in our process, but we have to really make sure that we approach every game in the right way. So in terms of the work and the process here and how we've approaching Dundee, is exactly the same as it was for Tuesday night. So I think if the process remains the same, us being really demanding about habits in certain ways, we're going to behave all the time in training, whether we're playing in Europe or in the league or in the cup against Alloa in a week's time. It's all the same. It's all at this club. Every game should be treated in the same way, because every team we play is desperate to beat us. So we can watch some games with the opposition, and then by the time they play us, it looks very, very different. So we need to be really ready for that, and we have to make sure that every game we try and play the game in our terms as much as we can.
I spoke to Oliver, Russell, just before you came in there. He's reflecting on what was a kind of crazy few days for him. Does that, just about how he goes into the game, performs, wins a penalty, has the assist, plays his part, does that kind of sum up the kind of character and the mentality they're looking for?
Yeah, definitely. So he came really highly recommended by Dan and Kevin, and then we watched him a lot and spoke to a lot of people that we know that have either played with him or worked with him, and they all said the same thing, that they just don't see it being a problem with his mentality. So I was really pleased with what he did, and even like the bit of learning at half time, like we spoke about after the game, was really fantastic. So he's a really confident boy, but in a really nice way, and I think you need that here. So I expect him to have the same. There's been you can't have a time for then a dip. You need to carry on now. He really set a standard early on that he needs to maintain. It's the same for a lot of the guys, and we need to push them and make sure they keep doing it. And it's going to be consistency, I think, in behaviour, in performance, in effort, that will mean that we keep improving all the time.
See, just in terms of the team getting out, Russell, you seem pretty relaxed about it, but is it something that you'd like to kind of nip in the bud just so it doesn't become a...
Well, I think there's enough stuff in this job to be concerned about and to focus on all the time. So I'm not going to stress overly about the team being leaked. As I said, we spoke about it here. It's not ideal, but I also believe that no one's done it to hurt us or harm us. So if I ever felt that, and it'd be a different thing. But it's modern football, and I think when people are saying if they're in or out of the team, you just have to have an awareness of who you're telling and all of that stuff. But yeah, there's other stuff for me to get stressed about, and I don't think that's one of them.
Aye, interesting stuff you had to say. Talks about getting the fear back at Ibrox was one of the things that stuck out for me, AK, because teams were coming last season and we were making it easy for them, and they were going to be picking up points, and the record was starting to look really bad for the amount of games that we'd lost at Ibrox in a bounce for before, a long time before we carried a record like that. So it's time to get back to winning ways at Ibrox in the league campaign and keep it a fortress, hopefully, to the end of the season.
Aye, 100%, mate. That's the foundation for success. You're home for them, and obviously you're looking to pick up as many away points in difficult grounds as you can. But definitely 100%, or as close to 100% at Ibrox as we can. And our first home game of the season domestically is Dundee, so we've got them a good time of the season for us. I would say they've got a new manager. He's trying to implement a new style. You know, I think it was a popular, decision with their board. So we're a wee bit similar kind of outlook as supporters, but we need to look after ourselves, and it's imperative we get the 3 points on the board, few goals, hopefully, and send everybody home happy again, is what they did on Tuesday night there.
Bridge, it sounds like, as we said, you want to keep Ibrox a fortress. You need to pick up as many points as possible at Ibrox. He's looking for more players, and he's talking about character and attitude, and also saying maybe a bit of experience. So when you're saying experience, I think he's going to be a player around about 25, 26, then you would think maybe 27. I would take for that, because I don't think you're going to find many 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds with plenty of experience.
That's the truth. And he talks about character and fearless and things like that. I think our manager has got to show that as well. Not just the players, but the manager's got to show that as well. In whatever way that means, you know. What happened in against Motherwell, the team are winning, they're ahead. And for some unknown reason, we can't play football. We just seem to stop playing football the way we were. And we start to lose possession and position on the pitch, you know. And the manager's got to get himself right on that. He's done a lot in the European game to build that up again. And this is a big test for him tomorrow. If he can get out of Ibrox tomorrow with 2 or 3 goals, and I say that loosely, I would like to see them scoring a lot more than that. But invariably, a lot of teams come to Ibrox and they know what they want to do. They've got their plan, and they know what they want to do, and what that is to not to get beat, don't allow Rangers to score, and so on and so forth, you know. And if they can go and steal a game at a goal, then that's great. We must be able to find a way of nullifying that concept. Rangers, the way we've been playing, the 2 wide men, you're getting the ball in, and so on and so forth, then we need to continue that and bombard them. We need to beat these teams. We need to score against them. We need to everything you need to do to beat them. We need to do it, and we need to find a way to do it. Let's put it that way. And a lot of times in the past couple of seasons, we haven't been able to do that, and it left us a red face. particularly at Ibrox. That needs to change tomorrow. We need to win and win well at Ibrox. And he started that in the European game. That was a tremendous performance. So that performance must be the thing he's going to go forward with. That performance and the levels of play that all the players were playing, and tighten up the defence as you go along, because everything's really, really tight. I just want the manager to be able to hold his head up and not be, particularly in the league here in Scotland, we don't want our manager getting a doing with the press conferences. He's got to be able to say, "Listen, my team's winning," and so on and so forth, and no excuses for defeats and draws, no excuses at all. So I want him to go out and be the thing. Everything that he said that the players must be, he must be brave, really brave, and get out there and show the attitude and make sure the fans understand what he's trying to do. That's the way I see it.
Well, he always said, I heard an interview that he'd done a while ago on a podcast before he got the job, and he said he wants to tell players the truth. That's what he wanted as a player, and sometimes managers weren't so truthful. And he said that when he got the first job that he got, he wasn't very truthful at times with the players that he probably should have been, because he'd played with them for a long time when they gave him the manager's job. I think it was at MK Dons. So he said that after that, he said, "No, I'll tell the players exactly how the team's going to play, how I want them to play, and if they're not playing or why I'm dropping them, I'll be telling them truthfully why. And also, if you're no part of my plans, I'll explain it to you." He said, and probably people will not agree, AK, but that's what he said he would do. And he came out after the Motherwell game and said what he said, picked players out without naming them, and then he reacted with what he done on the Tuesday night, and put in players into a style and thought that they would maybe work better, and it certainly did. So it looks like he will be firm with the players. I don't know where all managers trust players over a period of time. Sometimes say they've got a favourite, but he seems to be, he's going to just tell them how it is. Well, he's in charge at the moment.
How long have we been asking for a manager to be like that as a support? Because you know what it's like. Clement last year, he was trying to protect the players a wee bit, with stopping them to getting the criticism coming their way for the support or the media or whatever. But they ended up throwing him under the bus. Beale done the same before him. Gio done the same before him. Now Russell Martin's come in there with a fresh approach, and I like it, to be honest with you. Bridgman's questioning a wee bit his character. Does he have the strength of the character to make the decisions? Well, I think he's already laid down the marker to that dressing room, that he's no willing to accept anybody that's no willing to run for the team and carry out the instructions that the coaching staff are giving them. I think that's a breath of fresh air. Even Barry, in his short term after Clement last year, said that the players aren't playing under instruction. So it's getting called out, and it's getting called out early, which I think is a good thing. 4 of his players, Russell Martin's players, started last week at Motherwell, right? 6 of them started against Pilsen through the week. See the mayor that his new players, his signings, get into the team. He obviously, he's done due diligence on them, and he's on about the character of the player. It's not just the ability of the player. The players have got talent to be in the building, but you need to show the right attitude and application in the training to get a jersey and out onto the park, and then you win the trust of the support and the manager. So I think he's going about it so far so good. It's not been brilliant. It was never going to be brilliant. This is not going to be, I always said this, it's not going to be a one-window fix. But I tell you, see the amount of bodies he's got in the building in the first place. I think we've got to commend the recruitment and obviously the ownership for giving him the cash to carry that out. But we need to start getting bodies out as well. And I think looking at the squad at the end of the month and looking at the starting teams, I think it's going to be pretty different from what we've seen the starting team against, i.e. Panathinaikos, or i.e. the first game of the season last week against Motherwell. And the more that he gets the old guard out the team, I think it's going to be better, because he's bringing the players in to do a specific job. It's a wee bit like Moneyball. You're in there to have a role within your team. You're a cog in the wheel. See, when the other cogs aren't doing what they're meant to do, that's when things fall apart, and that's when we look disjointed, we look terrible. If you look stats, I'm a buff for stats, but shots at goal hasn't been particularly great. Shots on target hasn't been particularly great, but I've seen a significant improvement there on Tuesday. They actually had more shots at goal than us on Tuesday, but we walk away with a 3-0 victory. Why? Because we had 7 shots at goal and we had 5 of them on target. Anthem had 1 cleared off the line, and Danilo hit the bar as well. We could be walking away there with a 5-0 victory. So if we're, the possession is there, but it's with intent, and that's what we're looking for, the signs of improvement to go on.
We need to get chance creation up, Bridgeman, and we need to start hopefully with that. And I think with the 2 wingers, and if Dessers starts to get up to fitness, and then depending on the 2 is in the midfield, that'll go and create and try and assist round about the box, or even go on the score sheet, whether it's a Lyle Cameron or whether it goes back to Diamandi Raskin, or does Bajrami find a spot in this team at some point? Does he come in and get some game time and see if he can impress the manager?
For me, I think Bajrami is a long way to go to impress this manager, based on the performance we had during the week there. The team, they played such a good game of football, played really, really well, scored 3 goals in a European tie, and that's magic. That's massive, 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 massive. So we've got a lot of players, not just Bajrami. There's quite a few players in our squad that are on the edge, and they either they get game time to retain their fitness and so on and so forth, or they're going to be sitting in their bum, or we need to move them on. Back to what we're saying, the manager's got to come out to the team and make his mind up, and as he comes along, and the players should be, should know under no circumstances are you playing, and so on and so forth. He's got to do that and demand that the performance that was there on Tuesday is there continuous through the season. And once he does that, if he gets a really good win tomorrow, then the pressure starts to come off him a wee bit in that sense. But my goodness gracious, he's got to do it. The last thing he can afford is another league game where we're no one. We need to win, and he's got to do it. He's got to show that he can do it. It's up to now. As AK said there, up to now he's done that. He's came out and told the players that's not good enough, or this isn't good enough, or whatever. Now that's got to be carried forward. We need to see how it goes in the next few games, but particularly tomorrow, we need to see it. For me, and I'm sitting here in the middle of Glasgow, and I'm saying, here, you should be playing X, Y, Z. Well, there's the team that you played the other night. Start with them, and let's see how you go on. Or if you want to change it around at the back, change it around at the back. But there you go. There's the basis of a good team with good players who should be a lot more confident in their game as they go forward, because they played a really good performance by them. That performance cannot go down. It can't go down. It can't be allowed to go down. So they have to go there and do it. That's the way I see it anyway.
No, did you mention performance there?
Aye. Oh.
Hi, welcome to Southside Super 6 for August the 9th. This week, we're just going for 6 wins, since it's the start of the campaign in the Championship and 1 game gone in Leagues 1 and 2. So the first selection this week is Norwich to beat Millwall. The second selection is Oxford United to beat Portsmouth. The third selection is Barnsley to beat Burton Albion. The fourth selection is Bolton to beat Plymouth. The fifth selection is Crawley Town to beat Newport County. And the sixth selection is Wickham to beat Stockport. If you take all 6, it pays 54.6 to win. Thank you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Aye, we're into the last half hour of the show, so if you'd like to do what Neil done, was phone the number, you'll certainly be welcomed into the show and probably, hopefully come on and have a chat for the last half hour. AK, are you having a wee flutter tomorrow?
I'll give my usual donation, pal. You should be getting sponsored by Ladbrokes for the amount that we give to them.
Very good one.
Thanks for that. You see the faith he's got there. You were talking about performance bridge, and I was thinking about that myself when I was going to name the 6 teams. So
I've got more faith in Russell Martin.
Aye, well, we'll see tomorrow. 54.5 to 1 was the Sixers. Could be bigger odds elsewhere in other bookmakers, or slightly less depending on where you go. But it's early season, so we may as well start and see where we go. Hopefully the only way is up, AK.
Oh, I hope so, mate. I hope you get off to a winning start. And I give some pennies for Christmas.
Nice one.
Well, we've talked a lot about certain positions in the team, and obviously we've talked about Lyle Cameron and stuff. The thing that's went a wee bit quiet, I think, and I don't know whether a lot of people are still worried about it or thinking about it. The goalkeeping position. Obviously, Jack Butland's got the number 1 jersey back. And obviously we know that Liam Kelly can come in and has been backup. But Mason Munn's going to go out on loan, and the boy Kieran Wright is 24 and not really been about the first team. So we were seemingly linked to be a goalkeeper. Do you see anything happening, or do you think there's other priorities where we would need to fill before he's too worried about the goalkeeping position, AK?
I think your second part of your paraphrasing there is right. I think he's that's not the priority in the team. I think he's looking elsewhere. I think he's quite happy with the kind of forwards that he's brought in. I think he's quite happy with the midfielders that he's got. Defence, I think, now becomes a priority. Big Giga, as I say, outstanding. Max Arns, I'm hoping the more game time he plays in his natural position, the better he's going to be. He started a bit ropey, but I think that's mainly because he's been out of position and maybe felt a wee bit under pressure because he's filling the boots of Tavernier. So he's going to be up against it as far as what's, the fans' favourite that Tavernier is. So he'll feel a wee bit probably uncomfortable with there. But he just needs to, calm down and just show the ability that's got him to where he is in his career. Because at one time I think he was rated worth around about a £12 million player. So if we got a £12 million right back, then he should be better than what we've got, surely. So if we can get that left hand either full-back or centre-back, I think that's the way to go. And then look at the Butland situation next year for me, because if you think about it, see when Guardiola came into Man City, I think they were league champions at the time, but Joe Hart was the number 1 keeper, and I think he lasted about a year before he replaced him. But he got his guy in there, and it's been far better, because you've got to. Butland's not the best at the ball at his feet, so he's got to have a keeper in there that's going to be comfortable at his feet to play the style that he has,
Do you think yourself, Bridge? Do you think it's something that we might address, or do you think there's more pressing positions that we might want to fill, and you might think Butland, if we get the defence tight and we create teams for creating less chances against us, then he should be fine. And if it's to steal him with crossbars and shots for long range, he might find that a goalkeeper he thinks might be all right at the moment in his eyes, till we can find maybe the right number 1 that he wants.
Yeah, what you said there about being, you're insinuating the goalkeeper is influenced, confidence-wise, could be influenced by how well our defence is playing, and that's 100% true. And it's the same with the defence. They've got more confidence if you got a good goalkeeper behind it. So I think to a certain extent they go hand in hand. When you've got your twin centre halves and your goalkeeper, and they're talking to each other, and they're the ones that are controlling how our defence is going to play, and the full-backs just complementing them, in my opinion. When you say it sounds very simple, it's obviously not. But I think if he can solidify his thoughts on the defence, what he wants, the chap that's playing the best in our defence at the moment is the chap that's from Wolves. But he's on loan. So the boy that's sitting on the bench, I've said earlier, he's not a chance to come in and play a full game of football. So that must actually happen, in my opinion, and that gives him a chance to see what his defence have got. And if he's got a good defensive pairing, then the goalkeeper's confidence will pick up on that. But that's when they're in a standard play outfield, when you're going to start playing. Our biggest difficulty has been for our goalkeeper has been cross balls into the box, and our defence isn't actually clearing them, and the ball's going everywhere. Our goalkeeper is making some fantastic saves, but there's some clangers in there as well. So somewhere along the line, if he's going to think about going for a new goalkeeper, then he needs to start looking now, because if this new defensive back four we've got, and a variation of the two centre backs, we're still given the confidence, then Buckland must respond to that. He's got to show that he can play football. If he, as AK says, if in fact we've not got any confidence in Buckland playing that short game, playing out from the back, then we need to find a way around that. Because, well, we know sometimes you get wee bloomers, you know. So we have to build his confidence up playing on the ground there. And obviously the training and so on and so forth will help to bring that out. But it'd be horrible if we were talking about this in another 2 months' time, maybe 3 months' time, that we're a bit wary of the goalkeeper. He's not that great, and so on and so forth. But I think he's a fantastic goalkeeper, and shot stops and saving. I think he's really, really good. But there's obviously the lack of his positioning at games, or whether he doesn't know whether to come or go, and so on and so forth. So that can breed a lack of confidence in defence. Dead easy. And the fans. So the fans that have been saying for a wee while that Buckland is not doing the things that they want him to do, or he's not doing it well, then they've probably been right. But hopefully it's going to come from him. I like him. I'd like to keep him, and he'd be my number one in our team for a long time to come. But if he's got a load of bloopers and he's getting Chelsea weaknesses in his game. We're looking for all the strength in his game, and whatever it takes to give him the confidence, then we need to do it.
I don't really think he lacks confidence. I think he thinks he's the bee's knees at times. When I heard that interview that time when I mentioned Alan McGregor come to help you, and it was a smirky pult, like, and you know, as if he was able to say no, like it was his attitude. But I think with his feet, he's dodgy. I've always thought that. We got away with one in Europe last year. When the referee blew the whistle before the ball went over the line, or VAR would have gave the goal, probably the one he fumbled and went down hard in his leg or his arm. I don't think his distribution's too good. I think at times if it's no in, just punt it either down the line. We should have somebody round about there, and I think that'd be the safest thing. Whether the manager likes it or no, probably no at times, but I think if you're trying to be too cute and especially play it, I hate this ball into the centre midfielder that's facing his goal and facing the goalkeeper, and he's coming short for it, and he's got a defender right behind him. I don't like that scenario, and he's played a couple of the passes and they've not been great. But I think he's decent shot stopper. He's had a couple of wee flaps already this season. There was one at Ibrox in the home game when he sort of caught it and then he spilled it out a bit and he had to go out and dive on it. And the one at Motherwell there on Saturday, where he sort of, I didn't actually notice it at the game, I remember the boy getting the second shot in, AK, but he said I fumbled it in front of him and he was on his knees. And then the number 9 for Motherwell, can't remember his name, but it's quite a long name. I think he's Greek. He had a shot and it just hit right off him while he was standing there. So he's had a couple of wee flaps already for bread and butter stuff.
Aye, I know what you're saying. And listen, I'm the same opinion as yourself. Butland with the ball at his feet, no. He's too harum-scarum. He doesn't release it at the right time. He dallies on the ball, and then he's releasing it to Suter or Giga, that with the guy. I mean, that game at Panathinaikos at Ibrox, I blame Butland for that, because Giga had two guys running right onto him, and he's giving them the ball at the edge of the penalty area. I know Butland did some great saves that night, and he definitely had some great saves in Greece and got us through that tie. But with the ball at his feet, no, this time next year, I don't think Butland will be our goalkeeper. I think Russell Martin will move him on. But it is what it is. Listen, I don't know if you caught, there was a pre-season game, I think it was Blackpool or something like that. They're all playing this play out for the back, and it was a by kick, and he's got his two centre-backs kind of spread within the penalty area. So they're thinking there's 3 forwards ready to pounce on them. So he goes to the right, he goes to the left, and then comes back to the keeper, and the keeper's basically on his goal line. Know what I mean? For their by kick, the opposition score. That's what it kind of. That's the sort of things that they can do if you don't get it right. And it's just, why we not just clearing the ball? Keep it simple. Get the ball up the park, and then try and win second balls or things like that. But you see Liverpool do it, you see Man City do it, you see PSG do it, but they're all got a higher level of player, isn't they? That's the thing. But fun and games, mate. Fun and games. Been enjoying my caller.
Well, I've been joined by Bob Ger. How you doing, Bob Ger?
How you getting on, son? All right. Good to hear you again.
Hi, Bob.
Well, yeah. How you doing, Bridge? All right.
All right, pal. All right, yeah. Thank you.
Bad, pal. What a quick week it's been. Mind you, they're all quick at my age. Well, here we are on the verge of the game on Saturday again. It's been so quick since the Motherwell debacle. I'm hoping it's going to be a good end to the week this week. And great performance in Europe during the week. And discovered a couple of new heroes in Gassaman and Anthem. And let's hope we can carry on in this fixture against Dundee tomorrow. So that's basically it for me. So what you've been saying tonight?
We're just talking about different players like Yefty coming into the team, making a better balance and done quite well. We're talking about Jack Butland there. He's got the number 1 jersey now, and obviously I think he's had a lot of different defenders playing, and we're trying to mould Giga and Suter at the moment with him. I think long shots and that. Bob Jerry's he's pretty all right. It's just some bread and butter stuff that he's struggled with basic stuff that's caused errors in the past, but it's a clean slate, and I think he's been coming out and sort of catching balls and that a couple of times. So if we could get back to doing that and having the confidence with the defence, but basically it's just been his bread and butter stuff that he's been poor at, you know. We know he lacks with his feet.
I think the whole team's been like that, but Butland's a quality goalkeeper. Let's not kid ourselves. He's as good as any of them. You got him playing at the top of his form, you've got a high quality goalkeeper there. And I do believe that he's got the club at heart. So, I know he didn't have a very good season last year, but who did it? But hopefully, as you say, it's a clean slate and we can go on this year. And I mean, that was two fantastic performances against Panathinaikos. So Butland is he's a quality goalkeeper. And I think we're moving towards no bad side here. We get 2 or 3 more in, and when 2 or 3 more out the door, we'll be fine. We'll be okay. As I say, it's all steam ahead. Let's hope we can win tomorrow, and we should, and hope we can get through the tie. It's Wednesday we play this week, isn't it? Is it Wednesday the European game?
No, Bob Ger, Tuesday night.
Tuesday night, right. Let's hope we can get through on Tuesday night. Well, we've got a healthy lead. So let's hope we can do it. So here we go.
Aye, you've got to make sure we get it right against
Be
Dundee.
optimistic.
Listen, I don't expect it to be any problems tomorrow, Bob Jerry, if I'm honest. Dundee, Stephen Presley, I don't really rate him as a manager. I was surprised he got the job, but he did. He's probably their Pedro Caixinha that we ended up with. So obviously, I think Strachan's there is overseeing things, and probably he fancies them. But listen, either or, they've lost a lot of players, Dundee, for what they had. We've certainly took Lyle Cameron off them, that done well for them last year, and gone with his performance the other night. Apart from no scoring, he looked a busy wee player. He got about the park. He showed a lot of energy. He's quite an intelligent football player. He's no one that everybody had done starting, Bob Jair, but on that performance, I'd expect him to start tomorrow against Dundee if he's fitting well, and see how he performs tomorrow. It might even be worth a bet scoring. You know what happens when you come up against your old team, don't you, Bob Jair?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You score against them.
Aye. Oh, yeah. I mean, he looked a clever wee player. I mean, an industrious wee player. And all the best to him. I think he'll do well for Rangers, Lyle Cameron. He's popular with the support already, with the sort of performance and a half he's had. But it's just a shame what happened at Motherwell last week. So frustrating for us all. The bum Motherwell ought to be Bayern Munich or something, and they weren't. It was us that were poor. But we'll put that behind us. In this case, a lot of the players will have got the blame for it. I'm sorry, I've got that around the point. In this case, the manager would have got the blame for it. But no, it was topsy-turvy. The manager was right enough about the attitude. Totally right enough. And that reflected itself in Wednesday night in the Pilsen game. So hopefully we can get the attitude right and we can carry it on all through the season.
Well, if the information's correct, AK, this is going to be our last league game until we play them at Ibrox at the end of the month, because I believe we're going to pull the plug on the St Mirren game away. It was scheduled for 12 p.m. on a Sunday, as we can exercise our right, and I believe the information I got is that if we get through against Pilsen, that's exactly what we're going to do. They may play that day, they may choose to play that day when we cancel, so that will obviously, if you expect it to win, that will put them in front by 5 points. We're expecting to win tomorrow, and if they get their 3 points at the weekend, so potentially, do you see that putting more pressure on us when we go to that game if we cancel the St Mirren game, as I expect will happen?
It's a funny one. It's a good question. I was kind of thinking about it actually before the season even started. Is it a wise idea, to put that game in the back burner, because it's a tough place to go to, St Mirren, and it's one that we could probably do without. So if we're getting that time on the training park, so we can concentrate on either Bruges or what's the other one, Salzburg, innit? If we can concentrate on them for a week, then that might be a good thing as far as qualification and gaining every effort towards getting qualification for that. But the downside is what you say. They're at home to Livingston that day. They go to Aberdeen at the weekend, so you know what that could be like. Aberdeen usually don't give them much problems, certainly domestically in the league. But it's going to be a good league, I think, this year. I mean, even the games at the weekend on the Sunday, you've got Dundee United and Hearts. Dundee United had a reasonably good result last night in Europe, when Hearts have started the season pretty well under McInnes, and Hibs had a good away victory in Belgrade as well. So it's going to be interesting. But to get back to your point, I think you just need to trust whatever Russell Martin and them decide today, and then we'll catch up that game some other time. But it puts pressure on us to get that win against them at Ibrox. If we're falling, 7-8 points behind them so early, and we're not into September yet, then that puts them under hell of a pressure. But in the reverse, if we get the result in Europe, we beat them. It's a great decision. It's down to the players and results that determine that.
What's your thoughts on that, Bridgeman? Would you play the game? Or would you pull a plug?
Personally, if it was me, and I'm only speaking for myself now, I would not. I wouldn't pull the game. I'd play it. For me, we need to play as many games as we can. For the players that are around us, they've got to get game time in, and the manager needs to see how the players are playing, what the continuity is like. It's only me, and that's what I believe. I don't believe at this stage of the season that we should say we need to bomb this St Mirren game. I've got no idea why we would want to do that, other than the manager isn't very confident of the squad he's got. That's what that tells me. I wouldn't do that. So I hate to answer negatively, but for me, I wouldn't. I'd play the game definitely.
If James and we Al would check their team's messages, there's a link being sent there for you to come into the show. Bob J, would you think yourself, would you play it, or would you postpone it to give us a chance to get into the Champions League and we can play that game later on? And the game against them should be going out for the 3 points regardless of what the points will be at that point. And we're only going with if we win tomorrow and they win their next game against, I don't know who they're playing actually, I don't even know who they play at the weekend, but should they win that, and then they might want to play their game before they play us. So it'll be down to us. But for what I believe, I think we're cancelling it, to be honest.
I don't know. To me, you're better with the points in the bag. You're better with the points. I mean, if a Rangers team can't get into that St Mirren lot and beat them, especially with this squad, the way we're shaping up, I would rather, personally, I can see the pluses and the minuses for no playing it. Getting into the Champions League, means a hell of a lot to the club. But no, I would play the game. Rangers should always be favourites to win their domestic games in that league. So yes, I would play the game. Are we at home first in the next round of Europe if we get there? Can you forget we're no there yet, boys?
No, I would like to think that we've done enough, Bob J. We've done enough, and I'd expect us to score earlier. So I'll even get a victory earlier. So no, I would think that we would comfortably expect to be in that playoff game, and it's no finished yet between Bruges and Salzburg. I think Salzburg looked quite lively, and they were unlucky a few times in that manually. Had a lot of good saves. Kept Bruges in it, but Bruges played the sort of style of football that we're playing. AK. Don't know if you've seen much yet, but I think they were playing the way we were playing. I was shutting my eyes at times what they were doing, but they managed to go away with a 1-0 victory, and the goal they scored was because they kept possession and played it down the lines, and it was a good cross and a good finish, and they went away 1-0 victory.
I'll take your word for it. I haven't seen any of it, pal. Sorry, but we've seen Bruges at Ibrox, and they played really well, particularly the first half. They could have scored 2-3 against us, but they made some changes. That tells me that their squad strength and depth isn't probably as good as where they want to be, but they acquitted themselves quite well in the Champions League proper last year. So we know what we're up against. They're a wee bit more established at that level than what we are, but that's where we aspire to be. I mean, Gio managed to get past PSV Eindhoven when most people had us getting put out against them. But the thing with the board then is he asked for players to strengthen the cause because he knew we were going to be up against it, and he didn't get the players he was looking for. I would like to think that if Russell Martin does get past obviously the first and foremost Pilsen to play them, and then manages to get the Champions League proper, I think that would strengthen his cause to go and get more players to bolster his chances. So it's all financially it'd be brilliant for the club, but where we are now and where we're trying to get to, it's no a bad thing just to get by Pilsen, because that's worth £5 million as it is, and then see where we go. But it's all about winning at our club, pal, so we'll take that to Jesus.
Aye, I'll just say to James again, if you check your messages in Teams, James, and the same to we Al, there's a message and a link in there sent for Old School Blue, and if you click that, it'll bring you into the show. Aye, it's about winning, and listen, we didn't start off the way we thought we would, but tomorrow we've got a chance to rectify it. We're at home. Do you see, Bridge, see many changes, or do you think it could be the team that just started the other night and then make changes later on? Or do you see them making a couple of changes to the 11? Mickey?
Oh, sorry, mate, sorry. Changes.
It's usually me. It's usually me.
I was too busy getting you a wee message there. I know. I think the majority of the team, I think he's got to keep the same defence, the same midfield. I think he'll rest Gassimer, keep him for the Pilsen game, and I think he's got to start bringing your man in, Cortez. We paid 4.3 million for him. You know, it's about time we started getting something out of him. And if we're not getting something out of him, then we should be looking to offload him. So this is a good game for Cortez to bring in, I think.
Yeah, it probably would be. I'd like to see Finlay Curtis even get some game time, but I would start with the two of them. The new Ant-Man and the Gas Man, I would start with the two of them, and then I would just make sure they start, and we get off to a good start, and we get goals in, and then we can think about changing the team later on. I think we've been joined by James from Tennessee. How you doing, James?
Yeah, you've got a wee complicated system there. I was trying to find all over the place how to get in. But I finally worked out. Yeah, I'm doing fine. How are you guys? I just a point about the team doing well. I think they've just got to know that the American owners won't tolerate failure. So if they don't play well, they'll be out. They'll not be playing for the team. And and also as well, I noticed as well in games in Scotland that the other team and ex-Celtic players at the Legions, they always use physical methods against us. If we should stand up to them, I've said that for a while. If they try and heavy-handed push our players away, we should do the same. I think we're a bit soft, but I also notice as well Ben Davis and Dow. If Birmingham was so keen on they two, why did they not make an offer for the two of them? Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
There's a rumour that they made a low offer for Ben Davis. Whether it's true or no, I've got no idea, but that was a rumour. And I don't think it was touching £1 million. So whether Rangers think they want to release him, if he played well enough down there, James, he might. Other clubs maybe down there played against him and might want him anyway, and they'll get more than what Birmingham's offering. I know they signed a centre back, but he's one that needs to go along with Dowell, along with Matondo, along with Cifuentes. I'd even probably fling Danilo into that bracket, because I think we're going to play as a one striker, and I don't think Danilo fits the bill, so he's another one. And obviously Leon King has to go and get football and try and make a career for himself. And Ridvan needs to pick a club in Turkey, and hopefully they'll give the right amount of money, James. And that would maybe help speed it up. But we're still been in looking at players, James, and we've been rumoured to bin for a couple of players, and we know either they're going to come or they might stay in the same country, but we're still actively looking to try and recruit, even although we've not got them out the door yet.
Yeah. Well, it is about time. They won't let us play in the Premiership for years and years, and probably never. It's about time to send a message. Don't mess us around with money. You either pay the money. If you're going to splash out players like Manchester United have wasted millions, and you can't even offer us a decent, we'll not even talk to you. You know what I mean? It's time for a wee bit more heavy-handed against them, and we get a decent price instead of low offers. I wouldn't entertain them. I would just say, no, don't talk to us about the player. You're going to be like that. But it's about time we get good money back, because that's why the club will grow. We'll get better players all the time.
Aye, that's what we've been looking for, Bridge, innit? We've been looking for recruitment and we've got it. We're looking players like sort of as if they've shown promise. A few of them at the moment are showing promise, but it's how you compete and how they handle it and the pressure over a full season.
Oh yes, pal. Oh yes. Multiple games, even multiple games. If they can handle it, it's great to see. You know, we've got. For me, you've got the basics of a really good team there, and they played well as a team. So you're at least you're going the right direction as far as I'm concerned. And they've got some guys that are still to come in yet. We haven't seen how good, bad, or indifferent they are. You know, so that'll be interesting to see as well. But I think we're doing quite well. Look, it's new, and that's all you can say about it. And we're going to have to go forward. I think we'll get a fantastic chance to get through to the next round for the knockout stage, knockout game rather, in the Champions League. If we can get to that level, then you're really doing well. And then of course you've got to build up for that and have the players ready and so on and so forth. So there's an awful lot going on in the background that we haven't been aware of up till now, and it's a bit tight. Everything's going to be a bit tight. So in 3 weeks' time, we might have 2 more players back fit in the squad and playing on grass or training on grass and playing, available to play. And we know the quality of these players, so that may make a difference. So there you get some experienced players, or some players with better experience coming on. So all of that's got just good for the club. But we can't forget what the boys have done up to now in the European area. This is a huge step for a lot of these players, and they've turned out well. They've really done well. Think about that young lad, Ant-Man. He's came in, and the day after he's just signed, he's in the squad and in the team for a European game. Oh my God, that's just amazing. Just amazing. So that's happened to some young players, and they're living a dream. And I just wanted to continue. And I dare say all the Rangers fans, because that team excites the fans. That team there and the way we played and the goals that we scored excites the fans, and we have to keep it up.
All right, Bob Jervis came to that time and actually overtime, so I'll come to you for last words. You need to try and go in a bit earlier, you and James.
Absolutely. Next week we'll be there earlier. Maybe no, I'm going to be in London next week, but we'll cross that bridge when we come there. Yeah, good luck to the boys tomorrow. First things first, 3 points against Dundee tomorrow, and then we'll take it for their haunted Pills on Tuesday night. All to look forward to. I wrote better than I thought it would be anyway. So let's hope it's a good end to the week. All right, so all the best.
Thanks for phoning in. Thanks for phoning in, I appreciate it.
I'll always be here. Bye-bye now.
James, I know there's a time difference in that, but if you'd been in a bit earlier, we could get a bit more conversation at you, but thanks for making the effort to come on anyway.
Right, shocker.
Yeah. I've got a prediction, 5-0 for Rangers. We'll be up 3-0 at half-time and make 5 subs. And the ex-Dundee player will score the first goal. See what happens.
Oh, yeah,
see if I get this. See if I get this one right, or the last one.
Right, good. We'll have a look at that tomorrow.
Your first one, did you say?
Yeah, I got a European tie. I told you the first the winning 2-0 and the guy to score, or Rangers, the young guy. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Just a wee fun projection.
Right, thanks for anyway, James. Thanks for coming in, and hopefully we'll hear you on next week sometime.
Yeah, I'll call in. Thank you. All the
James.
best.
Thank you. All the best.
James, you don't fancy doing a Super 6 by any chance, do you?
Well, you know, I've never gambled in my life.
Sensible guy, James. Sensible guy.
Very sensible.
Okay.
Right, James, it's a pleasure as always phoning in for Tennessee, mate. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hopefully hear you on next week during the week or something like that and get more chat out. You all right, pal?
Okay, thank you.
Cheers, James.
Bye-bye.
AK.
Listen, something just came into my head there, but what James was saying just before I watched the review of the day, and Joshua said, see, in the last 4 years, this is incredible, we've made 9 to 12 players coming in every year in the last 4 years. So that's 28 to 36 players have came and went in the last 4 years. That needs to stop. You know, a turnover of the squad that we've got. So it's just when James something there that it kind of picked in my head. So, no, but brilliant show tonight, Southside Bridge. Thanks to our callers there. Hope you all have a good weekend and come on the Rangers. And that 4-5-0 sounds good to me.
Aye, Bridgeman.
What can I say? Brilliant night, Southside. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. And AK, thanks for carrying me through this, pal. And of course to the two techie guys. Brilliant. What can I say? Can I just say to all the Rangers fans that are listening in out there, please remember, tomorrow, biggest game of the season. No matter what you say, biggest game of the season. We need a win. I'm going for a 1-0, as I always do. I'm going for a 1-0, and I hope everybody thinks of a wee bit more than that. I'll be very happy. We'll get the points. That's what I want. 3 points on the door. All okay. Everybody keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers need you. So it does.
Aye, can I just thank Neil, who phoned up earlier, first time caller on the show. So thanks, Neil, for taking the time to call us. Also thank Bob Jair, James for Tennessee for making the effort to come on tonight to the show. So thank yous. I'd also like to thank all the troops on YouTube channel that take part every night when the show's on. So I'd like to say a huge thanks to yous. Everybody else out there on Facebook and Twitter and MixLR that listen to the show, I'd like to thank you and hope you've enjoyed it. Rangers Radio will not have a show tomorrow, pre-show or after show, because just about the majority of the people's at the game tomorrow night, 5:45 kick-off at Ibrox. So there will not be a show. We'll be back on Monday at 8 p.m. till 10 p.m. So just remember that we won't be on tomorrow night at all. But thanks to AK and Bridge for helping us out tonight. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's always great to get your help and input when you're doing the show. Hopefully onwards and upwards, the Rangers win tomorrow, get the league campaign 3 points in the bag, and then we're going to Victoria Pleasant, and hopefully we'll be there and we'll come back with the right result and into the next round of Europe. We've got a good fit in it, so we might as well just jump in with both feet. So thanks for listening in this evening, and as always, there's only one team and one crown.